Hey friends, welcome to Books and Data with Lady O. I am Lady O, and this channel is all about sharing my journey with you all to achieving my Bachelor's of Science in Data Science. We are just over halfway through this program, and it has been an adventure, and I am so excited that I recently decided to start this channel and bring you all along the journey so you can see what it is actually like to go through school, to be a wife, to be a mom, to be a woman working in corporate America, and to be a Sunday school teacher, and all of the other things in between. And of course, I do love to read. That is a hobby and also a necessity. So why don't we just put it all together and see exactly how books and data are relatable. Now, tonight I have a fun project. We had a question come up from the professor, and we are currently talking about the 11 Excel functions that summarize data in a table. So, what we're going to do tonight is look over just a couple of those functions and see what we come up with using some of our book data. Let's jump in. So to start out, first I have my Goodreads page up. And as you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and navigate over to the widgets and tools. And we're going to go ahead and export our, um, what would you call this? Our library. We're going to export our library. And once we get that exported, we will have a fresh table to work with. Okay, don't freak out. If you are following along and you have opened up this data and you saw what a mess it is, that's okay. No worries. We're going to quickly clean this up so that we can get through tonight's question. So, for starters, we do need to take the data and put it onto a separate tab because I completely agree with data integrity. So, I don't want to lose anything, but I definitely don't want to keep it in this original state. Now I know we can go ahead and just pop right over to Power Query, but I have other plans for this workbook, so I'm going to keep it like that. So I'm just going to copy this over. We're going to take it to 2025, and let's go ahead and give it a title. I'll just do 2025 there. Okay, now first off, I don't really want to work with all of this tonight just because I need to get this question turned in and we've got a lot to do. But there is a couple of things we can pop over into Power Query and get done rather quickly. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, friends, we have Power Query pulled up here, and we're just going to do a little bit of cleanup. So what I'm first going to start with is this title tab. Now, as you can see, the title, there's just too much going on here for me personally, a little messy. So what we're going to do is separate it by delimiter. And the delimiter I chose to separate it by is going to be our left bracket, and that is actually going to be very helpful because that's going to show us what our series are. And to get this done, you can see we're going to use the custom option. So if you click on custom and go ahead and just type in that left bracket, and that way you'll get the desired outcome we're looking for. Excellent. So as you can see, we were able to separate our columns by that left bracket delimiter. And what I'm going to do next is just go over to query settings, and I'm going to rename where it says change type, just what I did. It's good data practice to kind of name what you're doing throughout your queries, so when you come back in, you don't get lost. And once I get that done, I'm also going to go ahead and change that title section. Okay, there's definitely a lot more that I would like to get done within Power Query, but for tonight, we've got to get this discussion question done. And I'm just going to say, let's load and close. And as you can see, this hideous green table just popped up, and we will be fixing that before we turn in the final product. So let's go ahead and jump into the next steps. Okay, so we are still working in this ugly green table, and that is okay. I promise we are going to get rid of the ugly green shortly. But what I'm going to do right now is I've added a column, and I'm just going to give that the name of genres, and that'll be used at some point in time. But I just wanted genres to be right there. And now I'm going to go over to the date section because as you can see how it came through from Power Queries, it has like that long date plus the timestamp. I don't need all of that. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and transform that into the short date. That is just my preference. And we'll keep going through here, and once I get those last few things cleaned up, of course, I got to give it a name, give this tab a name. I'm drilling this down to 2025 because this is a lot of data to work with. And for what I need tonight, I'll just focus on those 11 books that I have read thus far for 2025. That'll make things much more manageable. Okay, friends. So I've done just a couple of more things. So we added the genre tab, and I went ahead and added all of our genres here. And also, you'll see that I've just added the Amazon average rating column. Now, let me just remind everyone because we've done quite a few things. So, what we're talking about is the 11 Excel functions that summarize data in a table. Now, with that, the question or ask was let's go ahead and discuss three of those areas. And a kind of challenge was to discuss discuss three of those functions and go through functions that you may not be as familiar with. So, um, I have chosen to do var or variance, and that's just because I am familiar with it, but I don't really use it very often. So let's go ahead and work with some variances. Now, again, this is books and data, so why would you need to know about a variance for your books and data? Well, there's a couple of reasons, but for this particular question, I would like to dive into book ratings. So as you can see, I have my rating, I have the Goodreads rating, and then I also have the Amazon rating. And of course, these are averages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a column, and let's go ahead and rename this column to variance rating. Okay. Now, just going off of what the ask is, I want to know what is the variance between all three of these ratings. And yes, I can see, and we can all see it, like there's no big elephant in the room. We can all see that there is honestly probably not very much of a variance, but this is books and data, and I don't like to make up data when it comes to certain things. So we're not going to make anything up. We're just going to go with what we have for the question. All right. So function equal, and now we're going to do VAR. Now, you can see that there's a couple here. And for this one, we're going to do the estimate, the var.est, and the nice thing about Excel is it tells you exactly what it's for. And you can even see there's some warning signs here. So if I tried to go with something else, it wouldn't let me. And what we're going to do is estimate based on a sample. So this is a sample size, okay? And what it's asking for now is to give it all the numbers. So first things first, I want to know all three of these. So I'm just going to highlight all three, comma, highlight all three, comma, and highlight all three again, comma. All right. No, wait, I don't need a comma because that's my last one. I need a bracket. Okay, let's do bracket, close. Woohoo! It worked. And as we can see, there is not very much of a difference. Not very much at all. And in a way, that is good. So, what does this tell me about my reading? As you all know, I am in school for the next, let's see, I believe I have about a year or so left. But I do love reading, and reading, again, it's a chore for school and for other things, but for the most part, I like my reading to be a hobby. And when it comes to me looking for books, I do my due diligence of looking at these average Goodreads ratings, average Amazon ratings, and I also even go through some of the comments. So I don't actually I want my variance to be small. And when I say I want my variance to be small, I want it to be this close because that means that I am having a good reading month. And as you can see, I have a lot of fours and a lot of fives. I have 1 3 here. There's a little bit of one off, but you know what? I have my full review for all of these current books. I'll put that down below, and it's in my January reading wrap up. Now, what do we want to do with this next? I did say I really wanted to get rid of this ugly green color, and I do. So let's go to I'm just going to click, somewhere here on the table. I'm going to go to Format Table As. Now, as you can see, you have all different kind of table options you can choose. I have a fun custom option that I already use, and yeah, so I'm going to go with purple. My vibe is purple this year, so I'm going to stick with it. And it would be fun to go through a video at some point to show you guys how I make those custom tables. But again, we are on a little bit of a time crunch. So here we go. Now, I want to again present this data 3 ways. So I have it in the this format here of the very, very small variance. But I think that we can show this a couple of different ways. So let's go ahead and start with a table. Let's see what the recommended tables bring up. And here we go. I really like these kind of stacked bar tables because it looks like it already has everything I need. So I want to see all 3 of my ratings, yes. And then I also want to see that variance, yes, great. We have exactly what I need. So let's go ahead, click OK. And we are loading. Here we go. Okay, I'm just going to scooch this over. Great. And we're going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see. Okay, I do see that that is big enough. Great. Now, we're absolutely going to do some formatting with this, but for now, we need to get the work done first because that's what's most important, the work. Okay, so we've got 1. Now we need 2 more. So the ask again was to go through 2 things, well, 3 total. So we need 2 more. Let's see. We can also go ahead and use the count function, and we can use the count function to go through we can count how many star ratings we have throughout. What was this? This was my January read. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to move this. Okay, wait a second. This is bothering me. I don't like this chart. All right, let's change the chart. I don't like it. Okay, we're going to go to chart design, quick layout. Let's see here. I think, no, not that one. Okay. I like that a little bit better. Alrighty. So yeah, I'd rather see these, my legend here on the side, just the way that my brain works. Okay. So, and that'll give us enough room for once we get ready to do a little bit more formatting. Now, where were we? Yes, we are going to do the count function. Okay. So I'm going to keep this here, and then my star ratings are here, so I'll go there. Okay, let's go. So what are we doing? We are going to do star rating. Start. Good job, Brie. Okay, star rating. And then we're going to do count. Okay, so let's start with the star rating, and let's see. I have here just some quick little stars that I copied and pasted from my fun little Canva, and we'll go ahead and just pop these in here. And let's paste this picture. Very nice. Okay. And I'll just move these down. Now, we need to go over to the count function. So, what are we doing? Equal count. And let's see, I believe we are going to go with, yes, we're going to do a CountIF. So, CountIF, what that does is it's going to count the cells within the given range. So, we're going to go CountIF, and I'm going to highlight this. Perfect. Count my book ratings. And then now what? I've got 5 stars up. So we're going to count if. So we're going to count how many 5-star ratings we have. Close our brackets. Woohoo! We've got 3 5-star ratings. That's amazing. And I'm just going to go down and continue doing that for the rest. And I'll be right back. All right. So we've got our star ratings all updated. Again, that's using the CountIF function. And as you can see, if you just pop over the cell, you can see it's the same function, same formula up there. So count if my books ratings have a 2. Thankfully, we do not have any 2s or 1s because, again, when we're talking about a book reader who has multiple things to do throughout life, again, as a wife, as a mommy, as a working gal, and all the things, we definitely want to get the most out of my free reading time. So the more 4 5-star reads I have, the better. All right. And honestly, I can say I'm actually really impressed that there's 3 5-stars up there. That's, I don't want to say I just give them out willy nilly, but okay. Now, next one we can do, let's see here. So there's 11 Excel functions that summarize data. So we've got sum, we've got count, we've got average, we've got max, product, count numbers, standard deviations, standard. I don't know what that other one is. Okay, we also have var, varp, varp, and we have distinct count. So let's see here. I'm gonna go with average. Yeah. So we have here Goodreads average, and we also have Amazon average, but I'd be interested to know what is my average. And even though my average probably isn't going to be that grand whatsoever, that's okay because, again, that just lets me know that I am doing my due diligence to make sure I pick a book that I think I will love and be able to get through. Because, if you are reading and how do you say, if you're a reader and you just kind of pick books willy-nilly, and that's how you end up with like a lot of DNFs, a lot of slow starters, and I think that's how you end up in a reading slump. Like, I've been pretty blessed not to have to go through a reading slump just yet, but the day is always young. So here we go. We are going to go through my reading average. So what are we going to do? Equals, we're going to do average. Okay. And I always love how, anytime you're in Excel, if you're wanting to try out a new formula or look for a formula, literally just highlight over the formula or function and read the directions. So we're just going to read the directions. So an average returns the average of its argument, which can be the numbers or names, arrays, or references. That's really cool to know. So, like, let's see, if I was doing this for my Bible reading plan, for example, I would probably go through and see how many times the word, let's think, it's February. How many times does the word love come up in a certain book? That would be fun to do. So for now, though, let's go ahead and do our average rating. And we definitely don't need to type all of them out. That is the glory of Excel. So we're just going to highlight all of our averages. Great. And you see there that dynamic, the wonderful dynamicness, or however you say it, of Excel is that it's identifying what I want to find the average of. So it sees that I want to find the average of my book ratings. And again, this is going to be for the month of January. So I've closed my bracket. Let's press enter. Okay, and there's my average. So my average is 1.4.181 and all those numbers. All right. And of course, we're just going to go ahead and stay consistent. And I'm just going to make this a little table. And again, I'm going to keep my custom flow that I've been going with. And my average is the table header. And there you go. So we can keep a consistent look. Now, I definitely promise that we are not going to stick with these lovely colors. So let's go ahead and see how we can clean this up. First off, I really do just want my average, yes. I do want to go ahead and keep the Goodreads average. I'm going to keep the Amazon average. And the main reason that we started this lovely project is the variance. Even though it is small, it still matters. Because again, if the variance is small, that means we are more agreeable, or I am more agreeable with everyone else's rating, which is good. All right, and let's see here. I don't need read count. I don't need copies. And categories that it has right now, the category is just going by the book. Because we only have 11 books right here, I'll go ahead and keep all of them. I don't think there's any need to get rid of any books. So let's go ahead, click apply. Apply. Great. And that is awesome. So you see right there, we're already able to visualize this data. And I like that when we got rid of some of those options on the chart, you can now see that yellow line for variance a lot better. So that's great. Now let's go ahead and take this one more step further. And again, I don't care too much for these colors going on here. So let's fix it. All right. And I'm just going to hover. Oh, here we go. I'm going to hover over and click this. I'm going to right click and let's fill the shapes. And let's see. The nice thing is it already has all my colors up here that I've already chosen. Again, you got to love the efficiency of Excel. So where are we at? We're at my rating. Yeah, my rating matters most. So I'm going to go ahead and make it darker. And we're going to move over to the next one. And we're going to stick with our purple color theme. I think I have like a mauve. Yes, we got this mauve type color. Yeah, no, we'll go through the mauve. Yeah, we'll keep the mauve. Okay. And next here for Amazon's rating, I really want to make it blue just because the color blue reminds me of Amazon. But no, we're going to stick with our color theme. So let's see. I think we need to go with something maybe a little bit more, maybe this one. Yes, I like it. Okay, that's great. Now, I do think I want to go ahead and keep the yellow though, because again, after we did a little bit of the cleanup as far as the filters go, it did come across nice, so I don't mind it. All right, and one more thing that we definitely need to do here is we need to add a title. I mean, it is quite obvious from the way that the chart legend is laid out what's happening, but again, just a good practice when it comes to data. We always want to title our charts. So we're going to do a title up here. And great. Okay. And then we're going to do reading. Let's see, reading, ratings, and variances. Readings, well, doesn't need to be variant. Well, yes, because it's multiple categories. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do readings, ratings, and variances. Perfect. Okay. Now, one more thing that I would like to do with this chart. And let's see, well, maybe a couple more things, but let's just keep going here. So we're going to go to home and I'm going to update this to the rest of my form that I have going on. And I am using these apostos Okay. And let's see. I don't know if I necessarily like the color, that gray color. Yeah, there we go. Let's give it just a little bit more pop. And I think we can squeeze through. Can we go to 11? Yes, we can. We can go to 11. Okay. I mean, it's always nice to have the pretty bars popping out, but what I really want to be able, I need to be able to read whatever it is I'm looking through. Um, it may be more of a personal preference, but, and again, you just always want to make sure you pay attention to your requirements, like what is the ask for how we're displaying the data. So that's what we're going to go with this time. Okay, friends, here is the final product that I will be turning in with my discussion response. As you can see, I did just a little bit more cleanup, removing some numbers and the grid lines. For this, I don't think it was really necessary because we have all of our data right above, which is helpful. And of course, thank you so much again for hanging out with me. This is Books and Data with Lady O, and I hope that you give us a like and subscribe for future homework assignments, adventures, and I also have some upcoming book reviews. Thank you all so much again. Have a blessed evening.